your
that was
team under the bus.
yeah, I won't go into the details. But I'm very curious about what's going to happen tomorrow. A couple of them may listen, so uh if big changes are happening, my bad everybody.
Oops.
It's all right. Um yeah, no, I so this is on the heels of our paleontologist interview,
I think so.
which is like legit probably one of my favorite conversations. And as you pointed out in that interview, I was having a Midwest goodbye.
Yeah,
Because I
Chris
just
had a
had
Midwest goodbye for once, which
I
is
just had
crazy.
more and more questions I wanted to ask.
Well, I'm definitely down with having him back on, but I would totally want to have like maybe throw out like a thing on Instagram or something asking people if they want to ask the paleontologist anything.
That'd be a good idea. Or I'm sure your friend that's got the
Well, yeah, she would probably
life-size
have more
cutout would have a
questions.
ton.
I could invite her on. She can just ask him.
There we go. We
Could
could
have
do
guests.
we could do a guest.
We could see if Dylan from Opal Sky wants to come on since he's the one that's obsessed with dinosaurs, I believe.
Heck yeah.
That'd be funny. Be like, who's our biggest dinosaur enthusiast? I think he would be one of them.
And I feel like he would be down for like a group like question. Like it was just such a chill conversation. Um
Well, he wants to be a professor in the end, he wants to get his
yeah.
PhD, so he wants to teach people, so he should be good at like, talking to people, answering their questions. I mean, professors got to do that. It's good practice, right?
Yeah. I thought he did very well in explaining things and breaking it down and how many dinosaurs we just did not know about.
I know, right? I kept thinking, actually, I knew like none of them. I was like, oh, I know like the simple ones and stuff. And I'm like, you're naming off these dinosaurs. And I'm like, no idea what that looks like. I'm
Well,
gonna
I'm
have to
no
go
lo
through and like make a list and look these all up.
I'm no longer terrified of Therizinosaurus, thanks to
Thanks to
him.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're
Giant
no longer terrified.
omnivore chicken. Yeah.
The omnivore chicken.
The
Although
omnivore.
omnivores technically aren't omnivores, also eat meat.
Yeah. But I feel like if we put up too much of a fight, they wouldn't.
They're more they're more of opportunistic meat eaters,
Yeah. Just like
I
humans.
guess. Cause bears are omnivores.
Yeah.
And we talked about bears too.
We did. I'd
We
still
did.
love to see a bear get in a fight with like Dilophosaurus.
You know what I did want to mention though too, like during our little chit chat session, I was like, man, I'm so like Warp Tour is gonna be crazy when I go in November. I'm
Yeah, it
like,
is.
I looked at the crowds just in DC and I'm like, holy crap.
Insane.
It's gonna be
I'm
great, but all this at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was exhausted from 5 hours of kayaking on last Sunday, how am I gonna survive Warp Tour 2 days in a row?
not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad I'm not going based on the crowd size that I saw.
Yeah, well, I don't think Orlando's sold out yet. I don't know if
Not
it's selling as good because people are worried it's gonna be super, super hot there in
not in
November or something.
November.
And I was
We should
like,
have like upper 70s, low 80s.
yeah, but a friend of mine said it's still humid.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
Florida. It's
yeah,
always
it's
humid.
Florida. I
Yeah.
like humidity.
I mean, I used to go to Florida in the middle of summer.
Yeah, I've been there in the middle of summer. It was hot. It's called a
Yeah.
pool.
Is Warped Tour gonna bring a pool out for Orlando or
No, but
like some inflatables?
they probably have their like inflatable like water things like they used to.
Hmm, that's true.
They're bringing back all the old school stuff. I'm sure that Kevin Lyman had all that stuff just sitting in storage.
You think Kevin Lyman owned all that though?
I don't know.
We gotta
Vans at
get
least did.
we gotta get him on.
Let's get Kevin on. Come on, Kevin. I want to know some things.
We
Come on the
do.
podcast.
Some of the like back end stuff, like who was in charge of all like the skateboard ramps back in the day, and Where was the inflatable schedule stored? And
On a
I,
semi.
well, I mean, when they weren't touring,
It's true. I'm sure they had a giant storage unit probably.
probably.
But yeah, I am it is cool that they brought like the skateboarding and all that stuff back too. It's just they're trying to make it so like all the years of Warped Tour, every little fun thing that they did throughout the 30 years, I guess, or 25 technically.
24, because 25 was very short.
It's true. It's true. But I went to 16 of them.
Yeah, you know what? I just had because you were like, oh, it's probably in a giant storage somewhere. Wouldn't that be funny if that showed up on Storage Wars? Like,
Oh yeah, they haven't checked this and they haven't paid their rent on it in years. Now we're gonna give it away. Oh, it's a Warped Tour Storage Wars. Yeah, but you know for sure on Storage Wars, like a lot of that stuff's planted.
probably.
Oh, it is. Totally is. Like, oh, let me guess, you have all this garbage and then there's this big gem in the middle of it all. I don't know. I work at a thrift store. The gems are few and far between, that's for sure.
I don't know. You get a lot of skateboards. Those are gems.
Dude, that guy that donated all those skateboards at one time, that was pretty sweet.
Are they all gone already?
Oh, they've been gone.
Dang.
They got sold within days.
Wow.
Even the crappy ones that were scratched up really bad, those sold. I mean, the guy said apparently that he was just downsizing, so I wonder how much more he has at home.
It's amazing.
People on TikTok, when I posted that video, were all like, "Oh man, did he die?" They were all worried the guy died. I'm
What,
like, he didn't die, he's alive.
so what shows do you have coming up that you're going to?
I got Aurora Wave next week.
What
Aurora
did?
Wave in Dunfor.
That'll
So I
be
get to
fun.
meet two people that we've interviewed.
That's awesome. Want me to send you a JAMXP shirt to give to them?
I don't know about
Uh,
that.
you don't know about that?
No.
Do you
We
have
should have
anything else
designed
after
that.
that?
Emery. And I'm debating whether or not after Aurora Wave, the very next day is Summerfest, and I want to go see Motion City Soundtrack, but I don't know if I can do 2 days in a row where I have to wake up and still go to work the next day.
You'll be fine. You're young.
Plus, it's really just Motion City Soundtrack I care to see, and the tickets this year are like $30 to get in.
Oh no, not $30.
Yeah, and then I gotta buy food, and I have to pay to get there, like parking and stuff. It gets expensive.
It does get expensive relatively quickly. I
Especially
mean,
for the festival. And when tickets used to be back in the day at Summerfest, like $12. Nah, last year I got lucky because someone had tickets. And then there was also one day, I think we went, it was my day off. So we could go early enough that we could get in for free from some promotion. But they didn't have anything like that this year for me. But I might go July 5th to see Third Eye Blind.
you should definitely go see them. They were really good. When did we see them last year?
I've seen them at
I think.
Summerfest a couple times. But I'm like, I wonder if Chris Reed would come out and say hi to me.
I think he remembers our interview, or are we just
Who knows? I could message him and find out. It would be fun though. And then Archers is playing as well somewhere on one of the other stages. So I would like to see Archers play. But yeah, that's all I really have coming up. I mean, you're the one that's got all these things
I've
going
got a
on.
lot. I've got a lot
You've got a
going
lot
on.
going on this summer, a lot
So
more than me.
I've got less than Jake this Saturday. I'm going to see Deadlands in Albany on the 10th of July. Then I've got The Offspring, and they're going with Newfound Glory. That's July 22nd. July 23rd, I'm going to go see the Bare Naked Ladies. Um, I have something in August. Oh, summer school in August, and
Summer
that's
school.
that's down in Philly. It's the last day of summer school too.
Yeah, I wanted to go to summer school, but unfortunately, like it's on a Tuesday, I think. And I'm like, I can't swing that. And it's in Chicago, so I'm like, no.
No.
As much as I
Um,
want to go, unfortunately, I can't. Just like Deadlands, that's on a Sunday in Chicago, and I'm like, can't do that.
I gotta work the day after summer school, and that's down in Philly, and I have to drive back for 5 hours.
Well, good thing you
So,
work at home.
well, not my wife.
She can sleep in the car on the way.
That's true. And then I've got A Day to Remember in September and Papa Roach with Rise Against. And then later in September is the Marianas Trench that Senses is opening for.
Yeah, I would have loved to see them at a Marianas Trench show. I almost forgot too. Our last night, I as well have.
Oh yeah, I got tickets to that too.
August
Um,
9th is my show.
Ours is September,
We're gonna have to do an episode where we talk about the Our Last Night
our
shows and
last
then
night,
and
and compare.
and compare like we did Silverstein. I liked comparing. And mine's in
Yeah.
Chicago, so
Mine's in mine's in Buffalo.
so mine's 2 hours away.
I know about tickets. What was that through our last night? Was that Ticket Web?
I don't remember.
I gotta find them now.
I'd have to look in my emails. If you haven't tried this 7 Up, you should. It's pretty good. Watermelon
Watermelon and
strawberry.
strawberry. Oh, heck yeah. I love strawberry melon flavored stuff.
Yeah, I should do an advertisement. If you haven't tried the new 7 Up, Endless Summer, I think it is. Yes, it's Endless Summer. I'm terrible at this, apparently. You should definitely try it. It's very strawberry more than melony, but still very tasty.
That was very convincing.
Wasn't it?
I'm gonna go get me some right now.
Yeah, all of our listeners and watchers or whoever, whatever they're doing, they're totally gonna go try it right now. Actually, I had a hard time finding it.
Oh, snap. It's a good thing I looked. I accidentally deleted my digital tickets for our last night.
Ooh, how do you delete those?
I don't know. Okay, I moved it. So yeah, our our last night um will be September 19th in Buffalo, which is I don't know what day of the week that is. Um
Mine's a Saturday. That's one reason my husband and I were like, we're going. See, but I think that our last night, they say they're not going to tour anymore. They're probably going to just do one-off shows.
Probably.
They'll
Did
still
my
do shows like, oh, they get invited to Warp Tour. They'll go to Warp Tour, you know?
Yeah.
Or they get invited to like Rockville or something. They'd play Rockville. They're just going to play like random festivals or special shows and stuff, I bet. They're not going to stop doing shows completely
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah,
still going to write new music. So you got to be able to, perform that new music somewhere.
yeah, mine's a Friday.
Well, Friday's not terrible. You get a nice long weekend then, I guess.
Yeah.
Nope. The only way Saturday works is if for Chicago is if it's like a Saturday.
Yeah, I'd really love to get Gina back on when she's done a couple of these garage tours, the
Yeah,
parking garage
the
tours.
garage tours.
Yeah, and talk to her about how that went. I'd also love to talk to Haunter again after their first show.
Yeah, we should definitely get them on after their first show, which is coming up
Yeah,
very
this
soon.
Friday, 20th, I think
I
is
think
their first
so.
show.
I asked Andre if he was gonna go, but they're gonna be out on their little tour. So they'll be out of town, so he couldn't go.
Darn.
I know, I'm like, well, I can't go either.
You're not gonna go down to Texas?
No. I mean, I
No.
go to Texas. I'm sure Taylor would love to go to Texas. He'd probably want to visit like the Alamo and stuff, though. I'm like, I want to just go for shows.
I feel like Taylor would be like, "You're gonna go all the way to Texas for shows."
Yeah, he probably would.
Y'all,
He
but
wants He won't even go, he doesn't even want, I want to go to the UP to see the failsafe. And he's like, we're not driving 7 hours just to see a band.
That is pretty far in his defense.
Well, it's actually not 7 hours, it's like 5.5, but still.
That's still pretty far.
I know. But we could
Because I
make a
mean,
weekend of it.
that's true. Because I mean, like the furthest I'm really willing to go is like 4-ish hours.
And now that they announced that Devin's not going to be in the band anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they posted yesterday about it. Devin's leaving due to life things. I don't remember. I don't remember what it actually said. I read it. It was long, but I was I was like, just due to stuff, like,
Just do the
life
stuff.
happens. Life happens.
It's all right. And on that topic, like most of the time, I feel like we don't even necessarily deserve or need to know like reasoning when band members leave. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean,
Like sometimes, like I know people are gonna ask, like, "Oh, where'd so and so go?" But y'all don't really got to tell us.
I feel like the biggest thing with that kind of stuff is if your singer leaves, you kind of have to tell why.
Y-
Because, I mean, that could change the
Yeah,
whole dynamic of the sound of the band.
that's true.
But I mean, when people that aren't usually like vocalists in bands leave, it doesn't like change the dynamic as much, I guess. But still, it's his life. Let him keep it private. He doesn't need to say why he's leaving, you know?
Like I'm leaving because I hate everybody.
Yeah, I doubt that's right. I doubt that's true,
No,
but
no, no.
who knows? It is what it is, right? It is what it is.
Yeah,
What else can we talk about tonight?
I'm trying to see if there's any other fun shows coming that I don't know about or something like that, but I don't.
Yeah, I need to check the local show roster and see if there's anything going on. I'm pretty like I was like busy like in May. I had quite a few things going on and then now I'm a little dead. Although I do, like I said, I have Emery coming up next month. That should be a good show. And my friend Rob's going to that. So at least I won't be at that alone like I will be for Aurora Wave.
You'll run into
I
somebody,
won't be alone. The
You'll be with
Dunfor
so
boys. I'll
many.
just hang out with the Dunfor boys. That's kind of what I did when I went to see the Failsafe alone. Just hung out with all them.
I still think that that was one of my favorite stories that we've heard, just like how Dunfor was working with Colin Quinn and somebody like him. I was like, is that Dunfor? As opposed to being shocked about Colin Quinn being there. But yeah,
Maybe they weren't a Sleeping with Sirens fan,
maybe.
so they didn't know who the heck he was. But they are huge Dunfor fans. I was watching some of Dunfor's videos from their Atlanta show, the first show, which was last night, and I was like, oh, there's a guy in the crowd wearing the Story of the Year shirt. I was like, man, I gotta find him. Who is it? Maybe I know him.
Just because they're wearing a Story of the Year shirt doesn't mean you know them.
I might. They could be on the Discord. My bangs need a trim. Oh my gosh. They're getting unruly,
I gotta get my hair chopped off.
chopped off and re-dyed.
Yeah. Who is Deadlands playing with?
I don't remember. You're going to the show. I'm not.
I know, but that's the thing. Like I can't remember, and I feel like it's not the Scene Queen tour.
What shows is everyone going to? Like, if you're listening to this episode, we'd love to know what shows you have lined up this summer, the rest of this summer, because technically summer already started. Or did it? Because the summer solstice doesn't start until like Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
Isn't it on like the 20th or something like that? Either
Yeah.
way, what shows do you have lined up in the next few months? I want to live through you.
Uh, live through you. Oh gosh.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm curious. One thing that's a little funny is that you guys get a lot more shows up there in the
we do, but
Midwest.
we don't. Like
No, you do
if I lived in Chicago, yeah, but people skip Milwaukee a lot.
less than they skip Syracuse.
I get that,
And
but
then every time we have someone come on, they're all like, "Yeah, Milwaukee's awesome."
I know.
Haven't heard that about Syracuse once.
I was kind of hoping like Gina would come to Milwaukee, but she's going to Chicago, and I'm like, I can't go there.
But it's a free show.
Yeah, and it's in the middle of the week.
So
So I have to work.
live a little bit.
I have the car payment to pay now.
Okay, that has nothing to
I
do
have to
with
make
going to a
money to
show.
pay that bill.
I'm aware you have to, oh my gosh.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Everything's
I
fine.
Everything's fine. I miss things all the time.
Speaking of,
It's just life.
how are you enjoying your new car?
It's great. I love it. I still wish it was blue, but I decided that if I was gonna do any upgrades on it, I would get like a remote start put on it versus getting it wrapped.
It doesn't have a remote start.
No, it's a base model. It's not a premium model. Remote start was only on like their
They're
higher end
fancy.
ones. It's a base model, but it's a 2022, so it's got the eyesight thing and all that jazz that,
Hmm.
keeps you from drifting into other lanes and stuff.
Yeah, that's fun. I hate that. The that one on my truck, not even joking about this. We were going to um it must have been Massachusetts. Um and I had it on and I had it not on the vibrate setting to warn you that you're drifting, but the one that like corrects you to keep you in your lane. It pushed me in the wrong direction. Um and
Well,
I was like, yeah, I'm
then something's messed up.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm turning this off.
You should probably
And
get that checked out because it
no, I'm just gonna leave it
shouldn't be
off.
doing that.
I'm just gonna leave it off. I don't need that
Because I've
anyway.
had it on. I can turn it on and off, and I'm like, I turned it on, and it's like, oh yeah, it put me back in my lane
Did you say it was a legacy?
in Impreza.
I thought you said legacy for some reason.
Nope, it's a hatchback.
Impreza.
But it's
Impreza
just the base
hatchback.
model. It still has a
I know.
backup camera and all
Um,
that.
does it does it have the Subaru app? Because sometimes the app will have remote start when it's not on like your key fob
No, it doesn't have a remote start
at all.
at all. It'd have to
So
be added.
yeah, my truck with the remote, like the key fob, doesn't have remote start. But if I download the Ford app, I can remote start it.
Yeah,
Doesn't
I
make any
highly
sense.
unlikely that I can do that. I feel like that's something they would have told me.
Probably. I don't think my dealer
I
told me
think
that.
only the remote start is on like the premium versions.
That's stupid.
That's what I get for how much I could afford.
That's not a problem. I mean,
It's fine. I've lived how long without remote start?
yeah, it's just nice in wintertime. That's the
I
only
know,
time I use mine. Even in the summer when it's hot, I won't do it because it's faster to get in the car, roll down the windows and drive for a little bit, and then roll up your windows,
right?
than let it
I
remote
had a
start.
remote start added, like it was a aftermarket one that my dad's wife put on because they used to do remote starts because they did window tinting too. Uh, and that was on my Dodge Stratus. And one time I started it in the wintertime and it kept like cranking and turning over and over again. Like it effed up and it like burnt my starter out. So I had to get a new
So,
starter on my car.
so you're now because I'm just curious because now we're tapping into what I did in my previous job, at United Radio and testing all the stupid radios. Does your Impreza have that little additional screen above the infotainment? Like, is there another little screen above it?
No.
No?
No, I have like the backup camera and then it shows you like the navigation and stuff when you have it plugged in.
Yeah. But there's not like another little a little thing above it.
Well, there's a notch above it that you can set stuff on that also has like the time and stuff on it
Yeah,
and the
that's what I'm
temp.
talking about. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. I hate those things. Um,
You hate a lot of things about my car,
Well,
don't you?
no, no, no. I don't hate a lot of things about your car. I hate the way that Subaru integrated that time thing with the radio, and like the outside temp and all that, because at times things wouldn't sync up and people would get pissed. And I'd be like, just choose one. Like, anyway,
Yeah. Well, in a way, if you think about it, it's kind of like pointless to have the other clock when you have the navigation thing that probably has a clock on it.
100% correct.
But
And
some
then
people like those, like knowing right where a clock is and don't want to like search on the screen, I guess. I don't know.
a 22 base model. So there's no CD player in there, right?
No.
22 was the first year with a base model they got rid of the CD player. Um,
All I know is
and
my old
it should
car,
be.
I had all my CDs in there, and now I have so much more space because I don't have all my CDs in there. Because now I just listen on like YouTube and stuff.
Now you gotta stream your Atreyu.
I already did in my car. Like I had the CDs all in there, but I never listened to them. I'm like, oh, if I wanted to listen to one, I just went on YouTube.
Did you have an FM transmit? Well, how
I
did
did.
you?
I had a little plug-in one that plugged into my cigarette lighter and it went through the radio.
Yeah,
It worked
yeah,
great.
yeah. They do tend to work pretty decently. I know a lot of them have like kind of crappy reviews, but all the ones that I've ever used worked just fine.
The one I got was like 15 bucks on Amazon.
Yeah, yeah, they're not expensive.
And it was nice because it had like little like buttons on it that you could skip a song if you just reach down there and push it. You could skip that way instead of having to like,
Yeah.
look at my phone and skip the song.
Now, the real question is, do you prefer physical media or do you like streaming?
I mean, I love having a physical CD. Like I still love having that hard copy, so I would still purchase like hard copies, but mostly right now I think I'm mostly going for like vinyls if I'm buying stuff, you know? Because I'm like, otherwise I just have it all on my phone now. That's just how
Same.
it is nowadays. But I mean, if it was a story of the year CD, like they came out with when they come out with their new record, I'll buy a physical copy. It depends
Yeah,
on the band. They got to be one that I'm like in love with. They got to be in that top five for me, I guess. So I'll never get a new Matchbook Romance record unless they start something again.
darn. It's
Darn.
never gonna happen. No, I started looking for like a fun car for Nicole and I, and just like something cheap, like a cheap Southern convertible. And I found like this $7,000 Toyota Solera, and I'm like, that should last me at least 2 years, right? Like I can validate $7,000 for 2 years. Um,
How many miles?
Actually, it was relatively low. I want to say it was like 70 something thousand.
Well, geez, it'll live longer than 2 years then.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 2006. So, but yeah, I was like, it's a Toyota. It's got pretty low miles.
I would just check the rust.
Well, it's a Maryland car, so
So it's seen some salt.
maybe a little bit. Actually, I think they put sand on the road down there. Um,
Well, I'd
but
still check for the rust.
yeah, but it's that
My
happy
car was a
medium of like,
2006 that I traded in for $500.
yeah,
That's actually probably more than it would have been worth if my dad took it to the scrapyard, honestly.
probably.
Because
I
he
feel
scrapped my husband's old car and didn't even get $500 for it. So
I feel like generally that's a bare minimum offer for a trade. I feel
that's how
like
much
they'll like they'll come down on the price of the vehicle and they can write that any which way they want. Um,
that's how much I got for when I bought my last car. I got for my Stratus. I got $500 for that.
yeah, I think we got, let me think. Well, when I sold my old man car, as I called it, my dad's old car I inherited from him, when he got a new one because my other one died, I got 8 grand for that one. Um, but any other car that I've sold, the most I've gotten It might have been 3,000. Like I've never gotten that much, but I tend to drive them until they can't be driven anymore.
Yeah.
Um, the only reason I got 3,000 for that one, that was a Ford Focus, and it was when Rye was born and we needed a bigger car. So,
Yeah. I want to know though. I want to know, listeners, what's your car you're driving these days? What was your first car?
what was your first car, Jess? Did we
Chrysler
ever talk about
LeBaron.
that? Oh my gosh, a LeBaron.
A LeBaron, yep.
I love it's my first car was a Chevy Prism.
I remember what my brother's first car was too. It was like a uh, Ford Taurus, I think it was.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a piece of crap.
My my dad had a 93 Taurus wagon.
Yeah.
Back in the day when you were allowed to have the rear facing seats.
Mm.
I
My
would
LeBaron
love,
was a piece of crap too.
yeah, it was a LeBaron.
Paid $1,500 for it.
How long did that last you?
How long did that last me? Not sure.
Not sure.
Probably maybe 4 or 5 years,
Well, that's not
maybe.
terrible. That's not terrible. How many
I
cars have
think
you had?
this will be number 4.
This is number four for you. I got to think about mine.
Yeah, I had the LeBaron, the Dodge Stratus, then the Hyundai, and now this.
Yeah, I'm on five, I think. I had the Prism, the Focus, the Honda Element, the old man car, and now what I got now. So I'm on number
Actually, no, I
five.
had 5. I had my mom's old Intrepid for a little while after my Stratus because I needed a car and she needed a different car. I forgot about that. Which I was driving her old Dodge Stratus. No, Intrepid. The Intrepid. What am I talking about? Her Intrepid and the like brake pad just fell off and it's just scraping in the metal. I've had that happen multiple times on cars. The
That's
brake pad just fell
what the
off.
heck? What are you doing?
I don't know, man. And I think it was both my Dodges.
The
The Dodge
worst,
thing.
the worst thing that I've ever happened with brakes is just me ignoring them and the fact that I needed new brakes. And I remember I was finally like, okay, I'm going to go get new brakes because they're, barely working. They were barely working so much that I brought it to a Pep Boys down the street. I was living with my parents still at the time. And to go to this Pep Boys, there's like a light at a major intersection, but the way to this light is downhill. And I put my brake pedal to the floor and I was not slowing down. And I'm like, oh my God, please let this light be green when I get to it because I'm going through this light. And sure enough, it turned green, thank goodness, because I went straight through. I had slowed down just enough to be able to turn left. Because the road wraps behind a Taco Bell to get to the Pep Boys. Whew, that was like the scariest moment, probably. You're muted.
Did your brake line
No,
bust
just
or something?
no, my brakes were just so dead that
Oh.
yeah. Yeah, and I did also have this other time. I was coming home from a friend's house, middle of winter, and I'm going down a hill, and this person is seriously a football field away from me. I was a good distance away from them, starts to turn, and this whole hill is icy. And so like I'm trying to slow down, the car's not slowing down. And so I whip my wheel all the way to the left. Now it's so slippery that my car doesn't turn. It literally just shifts to the left. And I missed that car turning and slowing down by like an inch. And then there was oncoming traffic, so I had to whip my wheel back the other way, and I just slid back the other way. My car stayed straight. Um,
And you survived.
yeah, Syracuse driving in the winter is no joke.
Driving here
Um,
sucks too, but eh, I've had some bad experiences in the snow.
what happened to you this year that you sent me the picture? Something happened. And you were on the side of the road. I can't remember what happened to you.
Yeah, that was my last car, my Hyundai. I was driving and the right control arm snapped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the tire wasn't supposed to be like not in the center of the wheel well.
What do you mean?
And then it turns out my dad's like investigating. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to replace the other side too, because that one's gonna go soon as well." Good old Wisconsin winters.
Yeah,
Rust is horrible.
I gotta find if I can find it, I'm gonna insert it here. A video where I had brought it was the old man car, and I was like, it's drifting on the highway. It's really weird. Like, so I drove home from work and I brought it in, and they took it up on the lift. I got a ride home, and they called me. They're like, tell us you did not drive this here last night to drop it off. I was like, yeah, I drove it. Why? He's like, because your wheel's completely disconnected from the rest of the vehicle. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, they sent me a video of him just shaking the wheel, just completely doing whatever it wanted to do. I'm like, yeah, I drove that there. They're like, well, thank goodness you made it.
Yeah,
But yeah, if I can find the video, I'll insert it because I definitely saved that video.
that's funny though. It's funny now that you look back at it, but it kind of would have sucked if you could have like died or injured yourself or something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what was wrong with it because at the time it was just like, I don't know, it was just I didn't notice anything about the wheel.
Yeah,
It was just drifting.
that's like my Dodge Stratus. I had to get rid of that because the wiring harness went bad on it, and it would have cost like $1,500 to fix it, and there was no guarantees it would stay fixed because it's a wiring harness. So every time I drove, I couldn't drive more than 45 minutes away. Because as soon as you got that like around that 45-minute time, the car got hot enough that the wiring harness went like this, and separated, and all the power in the car went out. So I'd be driving on the freeway and then absolutely nothing. It just dies, and I have to like pull off to the side of the road and let it cool down and then start her up again.
Yeah, that's one thing that used to happen to my Element, which is why I ended up giving up. Because
See?
I loved that car. Like not the wiring harness. At least I don't think so. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. The power would cut off at highway speeds
Right.
randomly. Um,
Man, we could
yeah,
talk forever apparently about cars.
apparently this is a car podcast
It's a
now.
car podcast now. Sorry, guys. But no, we want to know what your mishaps with your vehicle was too. Like, what
Yeah,
mishaps have you had with your vehicles over the years? Tell us. Nobody ever tells us anything. We ask people, but they never tell us anything. They never comment anything. We want to know. So please, please tell us.
I know. After everything we do for you, you don't tell us anything.
Right? Come on. Oh yeah, my husband was like, "You should talk about we were watching a Netflix TV series or whatever. It has Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. It was from last year, I think it came out. Fubar.
I haven't watched that.
Uh, it's only got 2 seasons, and both seasons have like 8 episodes. But the one episode, like I think it was episode two, it's two or three, and all of a sudden they're like, the one guy in the episode was like, "Yeah, turn on some emo rock," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
Isn't it? I don't know. It's cringy when people call it anything other than emo. As a matter of fact, Rye the other day called like old emo classic rock, and I'm like, no.
Oh,
I was like, I understand classic rock in the terms of like how Nirvana and them are becoming classic rock now because they're from like 30 years ago and they remain influential. But no, not
emo is
I
not classic rock
no,
because
it's not.
emo is not just rock either.
See, but then that's what I got to thinking about. Has rock ever been just rock? Because I don't think so.
Probably not. Rock's just like a blatant term, like a blanket term. Like
Yeah,
there's lots of different entities of rock.
yeah, because I mean, if you think back in the day, like I'm sure you like would think of like rock and roll, but then you have like blues rock and like it's like I don't think it was ever just like that. Rock is just such like a broad term. So when he said classic rock, I'm like, clarify. He couldn't
Please
clarify.
clarify. Who are you considering classic rock?
But that's all right. This was coming from the kid who thought familiar was from earlier. So take it with a grain of salt, you know?
Take it with a grain of salt.
So unfortunately, I don't think the video exists. I've been looking while we've been on the phone here.
Oh,
I do not see it.
maybe it's on a cloud somewhere.
That's where I'm looking. Um,
Maybe it's on an
it's
external
not
hard
here.
drive somewhere. I know
But
I have stuff on my old Apple hard drive, but I can't get on it because I don't have an Apple. It's so ridiculous. I'm like, I can't get on that old Apple external, and I know there's important things on there.
you should get a new computer. Get a nice Apple.
Mm, we've thought about it, but my husband wants like an actual, like, he wants the whole desktop screen and everything.
I mean, Apple has that. Unless he wants a
Yeah.
gaming setup.
No, he doesn't want a gaming setup.
Oh, get the Mac Mini and then get a monitor. I mean, that's what I
He
have.
doesn't want that
Why?
because he's weird.
So he wants a Windows computer.
No, he wants a Mac, but he wants like a Mac, like the screen and everything, the built-in. He doesn't want the mini.
Oh, so he wants the iMac.
Yes. He wants the big old one.
What's wrong with the Mini?
I don't know. He doesn't want that. He's a complicated man.
Apparently, I'm gonna have a conversation with him.
Yeah. You gotta come visit. We have to visit each other at
I
some point
know, and I'll
in
I'll
this
bring my
time.
Mac I'll bring my Mac Mini with me and I'll make him a believer.
Yeah, you make him a believer.
I mean, that's what I'm running, right? So I have the base Mac Mini and I have a 32 inch, no, 27-inch curved screen and it's perfectly fine.
Right.
And like the whole setup is pretty darn cheap. Cheaper than getting an iMac with the magic keyboard and magic mouse that'll hurt your hand. So, yeah.
I'd be fine with a Mac Mini, but at some point my laptop's not gonna do it anymore. But until then, it
I
does have to
mean,
stay plugged in already, because if I don't leave it plugged in, the battery drains real fast.
yeah. I mean, the Mac Mini is only 500 on
Mm,
Amazon.
yeah, we'll see.
But
We'll
you got to
see.
make those
Maybe
car
at some
payments
point.
now.
I do. I have to make those car payments. I do, Chris. I do.
So, I think it was one of our recent interviews. We talked about how concert tickets have the pay over time.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta stop doing that. I just I just gotta go like straight in because it really is like hitting me like every couple days and it's really not beneficial to do it, I don't
Not with
think.
the amount of shows you're going to.
That's true. The only thing I can say is it saves a decent amount when it comes to like interest because when you do the pay in four, you're not doing interest and then you tie it to your checking account versus like a credit card. So it does save you with interest, I guess.
Yeah.
But still, it's
Yeah.
painful. And yeah, I
I've
am going
never
to
done
quite a few
it.
shows.
I've never done it. I just pay in full. Just
It's
like
a
I
toss
paid for
up.
my Warped Tour ticket in full.
Yeah, it's a toss up. Yeah, it's just less psychologically damaging. Like I'm paying the same amount, but it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna do four payments of $25 instead of $100 right now.
Yeah, but then if you
Um,
multiple shows you're doing that for, then it's actually like you're paying like $200.
yeah, that is true. That is very, very true. But hopefully, no, not hopefully.
As long
Um,
as all the shows are worth it.
maybe I'll start cooling off on how many shows I'm not gonna cool off if there's something. Um, so I went to two shows recently, right? So last week I went to Inoa and then I did emo night. Actually, I went to three shows because I went to my friend's band show. Um, I did that and emo night in the same night. Um, I know it was great. Um, I don't really have much to say about the show, but their energy was fantastic. Um, so if you haven't checked them out, check out Inoa. Um, my friend's band played at a dive bar. My friend's band is Colder Weather from here in Syracuse, and check them out. They had a great set. Um, I won't say much about the other bands before them, but Colder Weather was great. And then I went to emo night. So I met up with three of my friends. So it was me, my wife, my friend Erica, my friend Mike, my friend Crystal. We all went. It was our second emo night within a matter of a couple months or a few months. And just a great experience. Jess, you really got to go to an emo night when you
I
get a
really
chance.
wanted to go to the one last week, Saturday, but
There,
I wasn't
ooh.
going. I couldn't get myself to go down to the rave at 9 o'clock at night by myself.
So once you're there, I'm gonna say it's such a vibe. And
It's
like
not just that, it's the neighborhood.
oh, trust
Not
me, I get
exactly a
that.
great neighborhood
I I get that.
for a female to be wandering around
Okay.
by herself,
Okay. I can get that.
especially afterwards, when it's later.
Yeah, but then it's your group of emos walking out together.
Yeah, but who says they're going where my car's parked?
Park near everybody else. Find
The
where all the cars are
parking
parked.
is a beach, is a bitch by the rave.
All right, you've got tons of
Unless
excuses.
I want to pay for parking, and even then, people's cars have been stolen and broken into, and they're
Well, then
paid
Uber.
parking. Oh, then that's a whole nother thing.
Oh my God. Anyway,
Anywho,
so we ended up going down. And at some point I'm going up to get a drink, and me and my wife are at the bar, and this random guy, one or two people behind us, goes, "Oh, are you friends with Erica?" And like it was so random. We're like, "Uh, yeah." He's like, "I have a date with her tomorrow night." He's like, "Yeah, we're going on a bike ride. Do you think it'd be cool if I came over and introduced myself tonight?" I'm like, "This is the most random conversation," but I was like, "Yeah, Erica's cool. She won't mind. Come on over." And yeah, so he ended up hanging out with us for a while. And then we went over to after emo night. We left early again. I say early, it goes until 1. We left around midnight. We went over to a bar, and it's a retro video game themed bar,
mhm.
and it was packed. Keep in mind, this was Friday the 13th. People are dressed up in costumes galore. So there must have been some event. Like there were Death Eaters from Harry Potter there. There was one girl completely body painted, decked out like someone from Avatar. It was absolutely wild in there. And we sit down and we order food. And sure enough, like two other people that Erica knows are there. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Um, so we ordered food and we're getting ready to leave after we're done eating. And this random girl, I kid you not, she just walks up to the table across from us and goes, hold this, and throws her phone across the table. And like, we're all looking at each other like, huh? But I pick up the phone and I'm holding it. And she's like, okay, now I'm going to turn on my front facing camera. I need you to be my mirror. And I'm
You
like,
are her mirror.
okay. So I'm holding her phone and she's got it in selfie mode. And I'm her mirror and she's doing her makeup and she's making small talk with us. And this girl is both drunk and high. Like, I don't know what she was high on, but this girl's like barely coherent. And eventually she is done with her makeup. She's like, oh my God, thanks so much. She's like, have you guys heard of Orbeez? And of course, we're thinking like, you mean those little like kid balls that you put in water and they grow? And we're all looking at each other. She's like, Orbeez, like Orbeez. And we're like, yeah, that's not making it any more clear. And she's like, it's like one of those places where you go and you can request any music to be played and they'll play it for you. And I'm like, oh, so it's a club and they got a DJ. And so like I'm like, no, we haven't been there. She's like, oh my God, it's so fun. You should come with me and my friend. We're gonna go. And we're like, yeah, no, we're good. We just kind of got done with the thing. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, you guys gotta come to Orbeez. And we're like, no, we're not gonna go to Orbeez. And she's like, all right, well, I'm going, and so is my friend. And at this point, her friend notices she's talking to her. She's like, girl, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm telling them about Orbeez. She's like, we're not going to Orbeez. And this other and the girl that was talking to her, she's like, we are going to Orbeez. And so she gets up and leaves, and like my wife comes back from the bathroom at this point, and she like grabs Nikki's hand. She's like, "Oh my God, you are so cute!" And then they leave, and we're like, "I think this is what you get at 1 a.m. in downtown Syracuse on Friday the 13th. Um, we're gonna go home."
No, this is what you get when you are the age you are now and you go out to the bar afterwards and stay out late.
We were not the oldest ones there. Um,
I know, but it's still one of those things that happens when you
yeah,
stay out late.
it was all right. I mean, she wasn't like crazy or like, off-putting or anything like that, but there was one guy super, super, super drunk at the end of the table. As a matter of fact, the bartender walked him over and sat him down. He's like, you got to be done drinking. You can have a bunch of water, but you got to sit here and I have to see you sober up.
Right.
And he sat there. That guy fell asleep immediately after the bartender walked away, and he was sleeping at the end of the table. And then we all of a sudden he was missing, and we're like, where'd Drunky McGee go? And turns out he was in line for the bathroom, and then he came back. And then he was with a couple people, and then they left. And then he went back to the bathroom, and he was in there until we left. So he was in there for like 15, 20 minutes. We're like, somebody better check on Drunky McGee. But it was a good
N
time.
None of you checked on Drunky McGee?
None of us checked on Drunky McGee. My wife, before she got into the bathroom, she said that there was another girl in there, and then her friend went in, and then her friend came out, and she goes to my wife like, "Don't go in there yet." And then the friend came back with another friend, and they had to carry the girl out of the bathroom.
Yeah,
So
I've had to almost carry a friend back to the car once after an evening out at the
yeah,
bars.
so it was great. I will say that I wasn't feeling anything until like I was in my second drink in, and then it hit me real hard. Um, But if you're gonna go out and have fun, be responsible with your drinking. Um, I always, no matter what, before I'm going to be driving, I stop myself 3 hours prior
Well,
um,
yeah, as you
with
should.
driving. So, yeah,
As you should.
don't be stupid.
Don't be a
Um,
fool.
I
Stop
pit,
drinking.
I pity the fool. Yeah, I have to say I was very proud. So my friend Erica, I believe she's 5 years sober now, did great staying away, not being tempted by any kind of alcohol. I was worried about it a little bit. As a matter of fact, I almost told the guy when we were coming in the door because they mark if you're under 21 or not. I almost been like, "Can you mark her under 21?" Uh, but nah, she was good.
Yeah, I mean, being sober, I mean, I'm sure it's a struggle, especially if you end up having to be around other people that are drinking when you had a problem.
Yeah, but I was proud of her
Well, good.
not being in the situation. So, but yeah, it was a good time. Go to emo night. You might be asked to go to Orbeez.
Maybe I don't have an Orbeez around here though.
No, no
No.
Orbeez. I don't know that it's actually pronounced Orbeez. The club is
Could be
spelled
Orbits.
Orbis. Um, Orbeez makes sense. Could be Orbis. Who knows?
Orbis.
Orbis.
You make me think of Orvis, which is
Or,
like a fishing thing, a place,
uh,
a retailer, Orvis.
but yeah, maybe I'll hit up Orbeez this week.
Yeah, you should look it up and see what's going on. Maybe they got a good DJ.
They've got some killer looking pizza, I can tell you that much.
Well, maybe you can go get some pizza there.
No, I'm looking at the crowd and the pictures. It is not my scene.
Stick to emo nights.
I'm gonna stick to emo nights.
Maybe I'll get to an emo night sometime.
You should. When's the next one that's coming out there?
I have no idea.
You don't know.
Plus, the last one had Dan Marsala.
You really should have
Would have been
gone.
a great one. I don't even know how well that one did. He didn't even post anything really about it. He posted like one thing. Usually you get like videos from like the crowd and stuff. He didn't post anything. Something tells me it may not have sold that well, honestly. Because although it was Saturday in Milwaukee, which could have been pretty good, but they
Yeah.
were doing BOGO sales for a while on it. Buy one, get ones, because it
s-
wasn't selling that great.
Yeah, the way that Emo Night tends to work is cheap entrance and then they make up the money at the bar sales.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't remember even how much the tickets were.
The ones in Syracuse are 10 apiece.
Oh, I think the ones at the rave were way more. That's why they decided to do a BOGO. Try to get people. No, I had asked a friend if she could go, but she unfortunately couldn't go. Otherwise, I would have went if I had someone to go with. Because then I could have been like, "Oh, let me swing by. I'll pick you up and we can go together." So that way I'm not like by myself.
I will
But
say I'm bummed because the Song and Dance is having a 2003 rave and like I am dying to know what that's going to be like. But it is on the Saturday that I will be in Philly,
yeah.
the day prior to summer school. But I would have loved to see how that's going to turn out. I'm just trying to see if they've announced the next emo night, and it doesn't look like they have.
Have you gone to emo night, listeners? I want to know what emo nights you've been to, what city you've gone to, how much fun you got had, and how much shenanigans you got into.
How much fun you got had?
I was gonna
Uh,
say how much shenanigans you got into and then how much fun you had, and then I switched it around for some reason. It's just me. It's how I talk and my brain works. Hmm.
how much fun you got had? I like it.
Yep. Put that on a shirt. How
How
much
much fun?
fun you got had.
It's the next JAMXP shirt.
It's the how much fun you got had tour.
Uh, I
Let's
just
make
made my
it
one-off shirts. Well, they're not one-offs, really. I made eight copies of it.
8 copies of it.
Yeah.
You didn't like that ChatGPT logo I sent you, graphic I sent you?
No.
That was great. I loved it.
It wasn't terrible, but I don't know that I'd throw it on a t-shirt.
I think it would be a better t-shirt design than just the name JAMXP.
Why? That's our
Because
name.
I know. But the fun with the dinosaurs and the French fries, that was cute. He says.
No, there's no announced nothing.
Nothing announced.
No. Oh yeah, and then All Time Low announced a tour
I think
last
so.
week. All Time Low Mayday Parade 4 year strong.
Yeah.
What a what a combo.
I can't remember if they were coming to Milwaukee. I feel like they were. I think they were. Or were they coming to like Green Bay? For some reason some shows have been going to Green Bay.
General admission is 67.50. I'm not going. Sorry.
Shows are getting expensive.
No, I mean, to be fair, I've seen All Time Low, I've seen Mayday Parade, I've seen 4 year strong, and primarily I'd want to see 4 year strong,
I
and I'm
saw
not
All
gonna
Time
pay.
Low years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah,
'Tis been a while.
no, I need
Where's
more
the list again for the tour? I don't remember. I don't even think it's
Also,
on here.
I'm gonna gripe for a second.
Uh-oh.
Can bands please stop posting tour flyers on Instagram because you can't zoom in on that shit and see dates clearly? It's like just put it in the comments or put it in
Some
the
people do.
description. Um, I feel like I'm gonna lose my eyesight trying to
Oh, that's right. No, they're playing. They're playing the Sylvie in Madison, I think.
Heck yeah, go out to Madison.
That's right. It was on my wedding anniversary.
Oh yeah.
It's a Halloween
Don't do it.
show.
Don't do it.
I don't think Taylor would want to go to a show on our anniversary,
I don't think so either.
but I would go. He likes the Sylvie though. Maybe he would. Enter the pre-sale. What's the pre-sale code?
Oh, and then the day after Deadlands in Albany is emo night. Maybe I should just stay overnight.
Maybe you
Two tick
could.
Oh, see that emo night's more expensive. It's $50 for two tickets.
What was the pre-sale code for the all-time low?
I don't remember.
You were just on it.
Yeah, but it was showing me the price without unlocking.
Hmm. That's sure it's probably about the same.
Probably. Albany, I gotta start checking out Albany more often because they have a lot of shows that they don't advertise with the local promoter. Like Anne Berlin with the Almost is gonna be out there.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm gonna start going out to Albany more often.
I've been to Albany once
Why?
because a friend's band was playing a show there. It was sketchy.
Albany, well,
It was a sketchy area.
yeah, I haven't been there
Like
enough.
me and the other girls that did the magazine, we followed our friend's band. Like we followed literally followed them to New York. They were driving their 15 passenger van and we were behind them following them. I think they even had like a trailer tire pop or something while we were following them. But yeah, we went and saw them play in Albany and then we also went to Buffalo for a show, I think. There was like two shows. This is with that band. There was this also when there was this other band out there called Benson
Yep.
that played at this. The venue in Buffalo was kind of cool though. It was like old school looking like theatery. I don't remember what it was called though.
Old school theatery?
Yeah, it had like great like architecture inside.
It wasn't the venue with the levels, was it?
There was like an upper slightly.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's really hard. It was almost like it was like an old church or something. I don't know.
Oh, no,
I don't
I can't
remember.
place that.
I remember distinctly like it being like a very big venue to be playing at, and it wasn't like sold out or anything.
Hmm.
It was just strange, but nice venue
Yeah, I can't place that venue for some reason.
in Buffalo.
Um, there was some, no, you would have known that one was at like a roller skating rink.
I wonder if I have pictures of it. I probably do have pictures of it in my photo albums and stuff that because I used to print everything. And I have like a whole shelf in my walk-in closet is all photo albums. And I have two full like giant CD booklets full of picture CDs. So I'm sure I have pictures somewhere of both venues. Because the Albany one was like way smaller and it was like almost I don't even know if it might have been a bar or some weird venue. I don't know. The craziest place I saw a show at was a bowling alley once.
I think I saw one at an indoor skate park once. I think that's probably the coolest that I've seen. And that was
I think mine was
Our Lady Peace.
I think mine was Suburban Legends at a bowling alley, if I remember correctly. Eh, I have video of Suburban Legends shows too. We went to some all-day festival thing at some, I think it was a church. I don't remember, but we have some video of them like recorded. We used to record stuff on a video camera all the time when we knew bands. on the tape, and you have to record on the tape ones, and then you have to like re-record them onto your VHS tape.
Was it like the 8 millimeter
I think
camera?
so. Yeah, it was my friend Margie's 8 millimeter camera, but it was fun just recording it. I really got to get those VHS tapes switched over to digital.
For sure.
It'd be fun to like post videos from them. I could just like play them on the TV and record them
I got mine all
on
digitized.
my phone. Just sit there with my phone in front of it.
Yeah, don't do that. I got mine digitized.
Well, I know you're
With
special.
some, I know I'm very. Speaking of being special, we should probably end this.
Probably it's been a little over an hour now of us
Yeah,
talking about
random shit.
random shit that people probably don't even care about, but
We lost them at the car talk.
probably they left right as we started talking about cars. Actually, no, probably 2 minutes into talking about cars.
No, I think the cars piqued interest, and then as we wind down on the cars, people just dropped off.
Probably. But if you're still here, thanks for continuing to listen to us banter about randomness.
Yeah, it was fun.
We just like to sometimes get together and chat about whatever and share it with everyone, whether or not you care or not.
But yeah,
Yeah, so we have some awesome episodes coming up, so keep an eye out for those. Like better episodes than this, because they're awesome interviews with some awesome bands.
what are you talking about? This is the best content we make.
The best content.
The best.
The best.